I want to end the show this week by talking about a couple of incredible people we recently lost. In the space of just 6 days, America lost two giants of the bench. On Tuesday, Judge Jack Weinstein, a federal judge who served seemingly forever in the Eastern District of New York and Brooklyn, passed away at the age of 99. Widely known as an activist judge, I think that's a fair characterization, Weinstein spent 53 years on the bench, fighting for civil rights and working to change the criminal justice system from within. Some of his opinions were controversial. He was sometimes overturned by the circuit court, but he felt strongly about what justice meant and how he could help achieve it. He was bold and legendary, and in many ways challenged the status quo for federal judges up until he retired just last year at the age of 98. I did not know Judge Weinstein particularly well personally, although I did have the honor and privilege of attending a brown bag lunch with him a few years back for clerks of the Eastern District of New York. The other giant of the bench we lost last week. On June 9th, Judge Robert Katzmann, who until recently served as the chief judge in the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, died after a battle with pancreatic cancer. He was 68. Judge Katzmann was also no ordinary judge or ordinary person. He was kind and compassionate, cared deeply about the integrity of the law, and had a profound impact on everyone around him. You probably haven't heard of him, so let me give you a little bit of his background. Judge Katzmann was nominated to a seat on the U.S. Court of Appeals by President Bill Clinton back in 1999. And in 2013, when I was a U.S. attorney, he became the chief judge, a position he held until August of 2020. Bob Katzmann grew up in Forest Hills, Queens, one of the most diverse neighborhoods in the country, with a large immigrant population in New York City. He got multiple degrees. He got his undergraduate degree at Columbia. He got a master's at Harvard. He got a PhD at Harvard. And then he got a law degree from Yale Law School. He was the first federal judge to hold a PhD in the study of government. And as many have noted, his study of the relationship between Congress and the courts probably gave him a leg up in understanding governmental processes in a way few others did. Throughout his career, Judge Katzmann was dedicated to the cause of immigrants and immigration. He was the son and grandson of Jewish refugees who fled Germany and Russia during the Holocaust. That passion and interest caused Judge Katzmann to create the Immigrant Law Corps in 2014, the country's first nonprofit fellowship program designed to provide counsel to immigrants by matching them with legal aid so they could get the representation they needed and deserved. They represented non-citizens who were detained, impoverished, or at risk of deportation. Judge Katzmann and I talked about immigration many times over the years, including when I was chief counsel to Senator Schumer on the Judiciary Committee and considering legislation relating to immigration. In 2016, Judge Katzmann presided over the largest naturalization ceremony in the history of Ellis Island, thanks largely to the CORE program. I'm sure he was very happy that day. Judge Katzmann also cared deeply about civic engagement and the important role it plays in preserving democracy. In 2014, he launched Justice for All, Courts and the Community, which was an initiative to foster an understanding for the courts and the law through community and school outreach programs. During the pandemic, the program even made live audio streams of courtroom sessions available to the public for the very first time. In 1993, before Bob Katzmann himself was a judge, he helped move along the Senate confirmation of the late, great Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg and helped her prepare for the hearing. Ginsburg has said of that experience that she could not have been more wisely counseled. 6 years later, Justice Ginsburg is the one who swore in Judge Katzmann to his judgeship. She said at the time about Judge Katzmann, quote, "He brings an enormous store of knowledge to his new commission, along with intelligence and personal qualities important in sound judging, an inquiring mind, extraordinary diligence, patience, and a readiness to listen and to learn," end quote. He was a friend to so many, myself included. To clerk for Judge Katzmann was to win the jackpot. Sure, it was a great credential. And sure, Judge Katzmann was a feeder judge to the Supreme Court. But more importantly, if you clerked for Judge Katzmann, or even more broadly, came across him in life, he became a lifelong mentor and cheerleader. I can't tell you how many times I would have lunch with the judge or run into him at an event or a legal conference, and he would pull me aside, and what did he want to talk about? One of his former law clerks, how they were doing in the office, or how they were doing in their career generally, how he could help them advance in their career, and in some cases, how he could help them become judges in their own right. What he cared about was other people, people who were close to him, people he could help, not about himself. Judge Katzmann was a wonderful judge, scholar, teacher, mentor, citizen, and person, and I don't know a soul who thought otherwise. Litigants respected him, his clerks revered him. To the families of Judge Katzmann and Judge Weinstein, I am so sorry for your loss. It is also our loss. May they rest in peace, and may we never forget their service to this country.